I happened to listen to the show for a second, and Phil called in, right, just as I was pulling in the garage, thank God, and I shut off your radio. So anyway, our kids, you can tell by our kids, you know, these kids, we've really worked hard, so hard all year long, and it hasn't always paid off the way you'd like to. And today, like the Indiana game, you know, everything really was in sync. We just really played well over a really good team. I think you got to put the Michigan State's got an extremely talented team, but they're young. If they had those two big kids that were hurt, they'd be a much different team right now. And they don't have really good hurt players, and that is really difficult to have the consistency you'd like to have. But anytime you can beat a Tom Izzo coach team, it is a good thing for us. That means that we're doing the right things. We're trying to just be the best basketball team we can. Great crowd tonight on a rainy 9 p.m. game. We have no more 9 p.m. games, right? And apologize to you for all that, but maybe if you're a team in the middle of the league or projected to be in the middle, you get rewarded with 9 p.m. games. I guess that's incentive to have better teams. So at any rate, just we're elated with it. I know that as the season goes on, that's a very valuable win, because Michigan State will continue to win a lot of games, and at the end of the day, they'll be in the mix in the Big Ten and in the NCAA tournament. So huge for our guys. Can't say enough about Derek Walton right now, of just the transformation in the last month. But if you remember, he came in with a star-studded team, and then he was sort of forced into being a leader probably when he wasn't really ready to do that. When we had the injuries his sophomore year, the injuries to Karras in his junior year, and to Spike. And now I think he's finally comfortable with all that experience he gained through the time to really play with that extra that you need to be a really good player, especially a guard. But as I said, he's become so strong with the ball. His left-handed finish there at the end is something he's worked so hard on, and we're just really proud of him and everybody.
Right in the middle with Kevin, Coach.
Coach, this team seems to be picking up a knack for responding by starting out hot after facing some adversity in prior games.
Yeah.
And how do you kind of string that?
Yeah, I've never been able to figure that out. You know, teams will come out. I think it does happen when somebody, you know, just we make a couple baskets. There is this relief, I think, that all right, we're doing all right. And I think it's like I think the old adage is when you're playing like 2-for-1 basketball and you say, okay, any shot's a good shot, they make it more often. When you see other guys making shots, you relax and you make more shots. But you got to make those first few two, and we made some great plays in those first two actions, and scored baskets, and we just kept going from there.
David?
X had arguably his best game
Yep.
of his career. Were there signs that this was
Yeah,
coming?
there's been signs, slow signs, but Sadie Washington's done a great job, and he really suggested that he play more today, and he also suggested we just simplify his package, right? He understands everything we do, but the timing of it is still just a little bit off, and when you're just a little bit off with Michigan State, they'll get in the gap, or they'll either get a hand on something, or they'll be physical with you. So we tried to really shorten his package today when he was in there, and he was really good at it. But Sadie Washington, again, that was my idea. That was Sadie all the way.
Mitch?
Derek said practices this week were more intense than they are usually, and he said if you didn't match that intensity, you probably weren't playing. Did you notice that?
Well, we have been, ever since the Michigan State game, the loss there, we haven't been happy with, you know, not taking that next step, pushing through a ceiling that some of us have. And and then we go to Ohio State, and, you know, Ohio State played great. And we almost did. I mean, we almost played good enough at the same time. And I could see when I told you guys, when I saw the Ohio State film on Sunday morning, I was ready to really get upset for 2 or 3 hours, right? And I watched it and I said, you know what? We made some steps in this game, even though the result wasn't good. But our practice intensity has been nothing but intense from the coaching staff and everybody else. They understand there's another level we can play at if we practice it every day and we work at it.
And over here with John.
Just kind of following on that, You said it's, for Derek, it's as, as well as he's played,
Mhm.
but is it as maybe a more confident and forceful than he's played?
I think it pays off. Again, he put in a summer with himself that was Stauskas LeVert-like. He just worked and worked and worked. And so it's a big read. I think he's got confidence now that he can take shots that, he was always a low percentage two-point shooter. And so he worked at that. He worked at left-handed layups with a guy pressing on, with a dummy on him and things like that. He worked really hard at this. So with that hard work comes the confidence. And so he's really playing just with a lot of confidence right now.